morning to all you garbage people out there that Joe Biden dismisses. Really still astonished 3 days later. But the news of the morning is Mark Cuban. I'll come to that in a second. Let me update you. Stayed up late as trick-or-treaters did not come much to our neighborhood. And that's why I babysat Ralphie the dog today. And his neighborhood's awash with trick-or-treaters last night, and they drive him crazy, doorbells, etc. So he came over and stayed with me last night. He's still around. He may show up on the show sometime. I brought him to the studio, and he is a magnificent studio dog. He does not bother us much. However, I want to do the Real Clear Politics averages first so you don't have to. At this hour, Donald Trump is ahead nationally, and Donald Trump is ahead in the swing states at this hour. And not by much. National average, Trump up by 0.3. That's unprecedented. In the swing states, Trump is up by 0.9. In the top battlegrounds, that's unprecedented. Now, there's a poll for everyone, right? You can go find a poll for yourself. Echelon and Atlas is great for Republicans. CNN hates Republicans. All I know is it's really tight, and you ought to vote. So I ran down the early voting deadlines this morning for myself. The last day of early voting in Michigan is today. Arizona is today. Nevada was yesterday, and Donald Trump is up 5.7%. Or I should say, Republicans are ahead of Democrats in Nevada by 5.7%. Never has happened, ever. One analysis yesterday said lots of new voters everywhere, and they are plus 19 for Trump. In Virginia, where most polls have it 4 or 5 points for Harris, it could be done. You got to vote. Today is the last day for early voting in Virginia, in-person early voting. Georgia, last day today, early voting. Nevada, as I said, over. And in Wisconsin, it's Sunday. And Pennsylvania is a mess because they have 67 counties, and they all have their own rules. There is no state law. So you got to call your local people. However, I do know you can drop off an absentee ballot anytime at an election office. I'm excited. I'm feeling optimistic. I listened to Michael Whatley yesterday on the Ruthless podcast, which I highly recommend to you. And the RNC's chairman knows North Carolina like nobody. And while they have trouble out in the mountains, they've done everything they can to establish, his example was, if a town is bisected by a river that has washed out the bridge, they got a polling place on both sides of the river. Go out and vote early in North Carolina. Don't be deterred, even if you have been battered and bruised and you're mad at FEMA, or maybe you escaped it and you're happy with life. No matter who you are, go out and vote. Please go out and vote. It's going to be a big turnout election. Election day is going to be a big turnout day. Nobody's going to know nothing about nothing until late on Tuesday night. But we'll get early returns begin. Everyone says if Trump wins Pennsylvania, it's over. That's not true. That's not true. If Trump wins Pennsylvania, and it does look good in the last Echelon Insights poll, but it looks bad in the last CNN poll, nobody knows nothing. If he does win Pennsylvania, he's got to win Georgia. Now, there's some good numbers in Georgia, but not good enough for me to say he's got Georgia. North Carolina, Michael Whatley sounded very, very, very confident. He was the state chair of North Carolina. So all it adds up to is you got to go vote. Hung Cow has a shot. Sam Brown has a shot in Nevada. There's a reason Donald Trump's going to New Mexico, because Latinos and Hispanics are voting for Donald Trump in overwhelming numbers. They won't be put off by a bad joke by an insult comic who can't remember his name. They can, however, and they will never forget what Joe Biden said at the White House 2 nights ago, cut number 24.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
His supporters, Donald Trump supporters, garbage. Now, you might not be a Trump supporter, but you certainly know someone who is. You may be mad at them. You may love them. You may not understand them. You may applaud them. They're not garbage. No human being is garbage. Today is All Saints' Day in the Catholic Church, Holy Day of Obligation. I'll be at Mass at noon. And I'm here to tell you, Catholics are voting overwhelmingly for Trump. And it's not because he's Catholic. I wish he was. He's not. But they're voting overwhelmingly for Donald Trump. He'll put Catholics on the bench at least. At least they have a shot at becoming a judge. I don't think you'll see one Mass attending a Catholic. You know, dogma lives deeply within them for Kamala Harris. Uh, Speaking of women and this election, best quote of the day yesterday, Mark Cuban on The View, cut number 6.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
Yes, you did hear that correctly. Let's play cut 6 again.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just
I've
that
seen
simple.
people dragged online before. I have never seen anyone dragged the way Mark Cuban got dragged yesterday. And I'm a little bit of laryngitis. Of course, happens almost every election cycle. I'm going to do Leland Vittert tonight. I got to do the Washington Post first look at 9 o'clock today, and then I'm shutting up until Monday. And I've been doing too much this week, but it's the week before the election. You do whatever you can do to help any way you can help. And I'll be on the air Monday and Tuesday morning, of course, talking about getting out the vote. But, those are the two key things. Play Mark Cuban again, please.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever.
Oh,
It's
did he
just
get
that
hammered?
simple.
Oh, did he get hammered? Susie Wiles is one of the smartest, sharpest political operatives in America. Kellyanne Conway ran his campaign the last time. Sharpest, smartest operatives in America. And then there were like a million different people came out. This is for the women to get on Cuban, and he forgot the first rule of holes. Stop digging. I think he's on apology number 4 that's not an apology. Mark, I like you. You've been on this show. You said you're coming back. Do an abject apology. I'm sorry. I was stupid. I was wrong. There are strong women around Trump. I disagree with him. People can be wrong and not rotten, in my view, on everything. I don't think Cuban is rotten. I think he's just wrong. I don't think he has any idea. When you hear Mark Cuban talking politics, think about me talking about the NBA salary cap or running a spread offense or whether the going big by the Cavs, which has worked out to 5-0, is a good idea, and whether or not Dean Wade ought to be starting. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything about basketball. I don't know anything about professional sports. I'm a fan. Mark Cuban is a politics fan. I know about politics. What I've been doing since 1974. I can just. You ever deal with the comms team with Donald Trump? You're dealing with the toughest people in the world, and they're all women. My hat is off to Margot and Natalie and the rest of them. They are pros. Just absolute pros. And Mark Cuban, don't talk about what you don't know about. I'm not going to tell you how to run a Shark Tank episode, although I could do it. I could be the talent. I could sit in. I don't know how to run TV. Dwayne will tell you, be the first person. I tripped yesterday over the cord, so I couldn't see Boris Johnson. Great interview, by the way. It's over at YouTube, the Hugh at YouTube channel, to which you should subscribe. If you can't see the show and you just want to pick and choose among the episodes, we put the best up at YouTube. We put the entire highly concentrated Hugh podcast out there for those of you who are audio listeners only. And, of course, you're watching on the Salem News Channel. You can watch all day long. If you're a member of the universe, you can listen all day long and early. People who are members of the universe were calling me early to talk about what Boris Johnson said and didn't say yesterday at the end of the show. But, whether you're a Salem News Channel watcher, a Hugh Hewitt Show listener, if you're listening in Maine, I think early voting's done in Maine. I have good feeling about Austin Tebow. Trump's going to win District 2. He's going to get one electoral vote out of Maine. Wherever you are, no matter who you are, go out and vote. Because the headline of the morning is Khamenei, the crazy man on top of Iran, has directed Iran to hit Israel again. That means Netanyahu's going to hit him again. And I think Netanyahu's going to hit him first. I think he's going to hit him hard. I think he's knock his teeth out. Israel preemptively moved in 1967. Israel preemptively moved against Saddam. It is time for them to preemptively move again. It's the Financial Times day. Oil's going crazy. Oil's going crazy because they know what the Israelis are going to do next. And we have a lame duck president who doesn't know what day it is. The only thing he knows is he hates Kamala because he got pushed out, and he's a mad, old, grumpy Abe, who's Simpson. Isn't he the old man that shouts at the clouds? Abe Simpson's in the White House. Tony Blinken's a lame duck. The vice president can't find Iran and Israel on a map. She doesn't like Israel. We did get the Chicago Police Department to finally charge the guy with a hate crime who shot the Jewish man on the way to synagogue on Saturday morning yesterday. But we're going to have a big war in the Middle East. That should make you say, I'm going for Trump. He'll stop that.